Hello and welcome back to another OMNIHEROES video. Today we're just going to go through stages 60 to 80 of the Rift Odyssey event in OMNIHEROES. So it looks like the trial bonus this time is Mystifiers. We're going to try getting through with a Mystifiers team. The one that I used previously to clear these types of stages was this team. Unfortunately, the way that the speed is set up in this team, it is difficult to add Atro to combine with Astrid in this one. But we'll give it a go. My Astrid is only 6 stars, which is it is what it is. I'm not going to go and spend hundreds of pounds on Oath Recall to get 1 or 2 more copies. We'll just see how many more copies come out. For her, she is a broken unit, and yeah, she does a heavy amount of lifting. Sorry, a lot of heavy lifting for this team. Catherine here is your go-to for damage on this team. Sandra just fills out the Monarch synergy, while I've not got Astrid up to 8 stars. But again, we'll see how effective this team is. We may need to switch out. We've got we can fall back to a default team to try and complete it. Fortunately, there are no specific missions. I think that would be a real testament to the content that can be provided. If, say, for example, you got an additional bonus if completing all 10 stages of the Mystifiers synergy on here, so from say 60 to 70 with just Mystifiers, you would get additional bonus. That to me would provide hours and hours of content, not to make, but to just to do. So the reason that we've got this set up, Sandra, she will increase she will decrease enemy HP. So you see this bar over here, the health bar. It's being decreased continuously because of the corrode that's being applied by all of the units. Now, if either of our front 2 units die, we're in big trouble. We really are, and primarily because of the things that they do. So Dullahan here, he does increase stacks, and Talos increases the damage dealt by corrode. So it may be that we're not able to do as much damage as we need to in order to win, and it may be potentially down to not having Striker's synergy. So I'm going to try a different setup if we're not able to push through as much damage as we need to. But it looks like we're doing a fair amount of damage to Sylvan at the back over here. And we'll see whether or not it's impactful, because that bar is just going to go straight back up after this round, because we're not applying any corrode this time, which may lead to our downfall, but we'll see. See, it just went straight back up. Now she's at about half health, and it's because the corrode effect has worn off. It doesn't build up as much, so typically if you've not won within the first 5 rounds with Mystifiers, you're more than likely not doing enough damage. So we get a double swing with Sandra here. Honestly, I don't know why that switched around. If anybody does know, then please do let me know. But what we might do is change out Sandra, or we might change out Astrid for other damage dealers like Salim, Nawi, potentially, and we'll change out, we can put in Seraphina instead. So yeah, it looks like we're not doing nearly as much damage as we should be doing, which is a shame, but it is what it is. The Mystifiers, even with all of the increased buffs, even with everything else, they just don't do as much damage as they should do. So we'll get to the end. It looks like we still had 2 left. So we're going to try again, but we're going to change out the damage dealers. So unfortunately we do have to take out Astrid, but we will put in Celine, and we're going to put in Seraphina. The reason for that is the striker synergy with Catherine. We'll change Celine over to this side. We'll put in Talos, and hopefully we'll get the buffs. So I'm going to change these out. Let's put the axe in, so we get that additional splash damage. Hopefully we'll have the ignore shield effect in play, and if worse comes to worse, we can always, like I said, fall back on the Naui setup that we've had in previous videos as well. So just getting through this first stage is real pain, but it is what it is. So I think what we're going to do is, so the reflect damage there, the only reason that is possible is because of the only reason that our Seraphina didn't die is because of the shield that we've got. Unfortunately, Sal down, but we did get through it within 10 rounds, and it is thanks to Catherine. And the reason for that is because she will build up damage over time, so even if one of your units dies, the synergy still procs for everyone. So what I mean by that is, because Sal died last time, his striker synergy still procced. So he was pretty redundant relatively in that. So I think I might switch him out for Atrops in this one. We've still got the 3 Mystifiers giving the damage reduction, but again, I think potentially this setup might be a little bit better. Sal does also increase stacks available for your units as well, which is a handy thing to have. And what I mean by that is he increases the limit of stacks up to 20, I believe, or by 10. So your attack and damage stacks by 10, which is why I think we're able to get the damage out on that one. So we see the leech effect, or the lifesteal effect, buffing up Catherine here. So every time the enemies receive healing, Catherine is also receiving that increase of attack from the shield and also her own passive. So we'll get a shield here, so our units are able to attack through.
It's time for a trade.
Catherine doing a fair chunk of damage to backline enemies. Hopefully, because our front line units are surviving very well, and we get the striker synergy buff, we get the increase in attack and healing from Seraphina, we'll see a victory in this one. Yeah, so within 7. So this is effectively your ideal setup for Mystifiers, using that striker synergy with the 2 Monarchs as well. The striker synergy, clutching it out in this one because of how much damage that you need to do. This next set of enemies, Talanas, will probably stun us a lot, so we may need to change out the setup, but we'll have a see of how this goes. Yeah, so absolutely obliterated in that one, and even if we try it again, it's gonna fail. The reason for that is we'll get stunned in round 2. They're going to do massive amounts of damage because of Gwyn here, and also because of Talanas, and because they can increase their attack stats as well. So we see this, he's doing a little bit of damage, but he's doing nowhere near enough damage to get through. Vital Drain has been applied. Unfortunately, yeah, that's the Verdant synergy kicking in here. So I think that because both of our frontline units go down too quickly, we're going to need to use different units here in order to pass this stage. And it's just the Glorian team, they are broken, really are. There's just no 2 ways about it. They're the most well-designed team, and the one that gets the most support as well. The only team that really competes with them is the Eudora team, but because of the epic rune, or the exclusive runes on Seraphina, sometimes there's just no beating them. So we'll go for Naui here. We're going to take out Lily and Leah because they will provide the most support. They are the support unit for this. And we'll see how this one goes. And we'll see if we can just blitz it. Yeah, so again, it's because we can get under shields, and because we can take out the healer with Nawi. She's just the way forward. If you are ever needing to get through a stage, Nawi backed up by another striker increasing their attack in the form of Seraphina. We've got 2 Monarch synergy, 2 Deviant synergy, which will apply the Holy Shield, which will allow us to get through the first round. Not in this one, apparently. And I think this one is because of the Monarch synergy, but we'll see. Yeah, so round 2. So it's a close battle every time, whenever you go up against Glorians. And again, we've got 2 Glorians this time, and Emily as the boss, who will apply Plague. So applies Plague on all enemies, reducing HP by 50% every round. It's a permanent effect and is removed when the enemy has 25 or more stacks of buffs, which will effectively remove it right away with this team, because we're going to have more than 25 buffs, because Glorians steal buffs from opposing units. So a quick one on this one, so we're up to 65. We'll see how quickly we can get through the rest of these stages. This one may be a bit of a problem because of the Phantom synergy. It just is such a pain, and it may be that this is where we need to stop, because it's just RNG, and what I don't want to do is sit here clicking through until it finally does work. But even so, it looks like we are not getting through. So because we can't do that, we'll go into clear records and we'll see what everybody else has been using. Looks like a full ethereal setup without Lily and Leah here. Potentially the 4 royals doing the job, but again, we got better this time. But this is just an RNG check, unfortunately. Again, we got straight through. Super weird how it works, but it's because we got the crits in the right places. So we'll change this up a little bit. Move this over to here. Go through to battle. It looks like we were very close that time, but this time maybe completely different. Yeah, not even close this time around, because now we didn't get her procs. But we got through 6 rounds. Not bad. We'll take those. Again, Mystifiers just aren't strong enough and can't do enough damage to get through these particular setups. So we were able to get through this one in 3 rounds. We'll get up to the next set of synergies reasonably quickly, I think. So we will hopefully beat this one quite quickly. Now there are 4 monarchs here as well, but it just depends on what buffs or what debuffs are being put on by the enemy boss over here. So we'll watch this one and just get through as quickly as we can. Sometimes these enemies are really tough, and something that you've got to take into consideration, if you aren't doing damage to them consistently, as in they've always got full health, it may be that you aren't able to progress, and the reason for that is because you do stat checks. Fortunately in this one now he was able to clutch it out, but like I was saying, with stat checks, sometimes you just can't do enough damage to the enemy team to get them down to below sort of 10% health. If you can't get them below 10% health, you will not be able to pass the mission, and you need to go and increase your stats as well. No proc from Nawi there, unfortunately, and Gwyn down, but I think this one is a victory. Yeah, so 4 rounds, so it was the next round coming. Nawi doing 98% of damage. Ethereals, no, I'm not even going to mess around on Ethereals. We're just going to go straight for Karnak and take him out.
I can't wait to join the next battle.
And by Ethereals, I mean this synergy here. We can add in Ethereals, but if I go into the stages, there's going to be Eudoria loaded all the way. I was going to say loaded all the way through. But there's not. That is strange to see. Maybe everybody else was having trouble with this stage as well, specifically for ethereals. Because I've said this in previous videos, the Season 2 and Season 1 ethereal teams, despite how good they are normally, have just been absolute garbage in these seasons. And I think because ethereals were such a powerhouse when they've designed these seasons, they wanted to give others a chance, like Mr. Fires. They wanted to give Doomsdayers a chance to shine, which they have done, and I'm very appreciative for it because I'm able to play around with a lot of different teams here.
Radiance will protect us. Target acquired. Silence is key.
So it looks like a victory on this one. Now we're clutching it through again. With the ethereals, I'm not even going to play around. We're just going to blitz straight through these ones. The reason for that is because, like I mentioned before, the ethereal teams, they just seem to, even though the power level is 5,000 greater, so my ethereal team's power level is 5,000 greater than my Glorians team, and irrespective, they just do so little damage, it seems, in comparison to how they normally are. Real pain. But we'll get through these next couple and get these 30 coins. Again, this will be a stat check one. What I'll do is I'll take out Persephone first, see if that makes a difference. But they are all phantoms, so they're all just going to be reviving and reviving and reviving, and it's going to be a real pain to try and get through these types of stages. I think 83 is nearly full phantoms and 91 nearly full phantoms. So hopefully Marcia will get the... yeah, it looks like we are going under already, but nobody else is doing any damage besides Nawi, which is a shame. It is a real shame that this one unit can solo an entire event like this. And it isn't about strategy, it's about how powerful is Nawi, how leveled up is she, does she have the exclusive runes to lower or decrease defense or apply defense reduction buffs. It is something to keep in mind. Unfortunately no stun, because these enemies can't be stunned, I don't think. Yeah, shame. So I think this is a loss as well, primarily because we've just lost one of our frontline units, and now he just hasn't procced properly. We did get a big hit there, and the shield will be reapplied, but it's still up in the air. It's really still up in the air. If Marcia goes down, we are done for. Fortunately, she got a bit of healing here. Now we taking out one of the frontline units, getting the Phantom synergy to proc as much as possible, as often as possible, is the way to get through this. So we get the increased damage, and because I've got the exclusive rune for Marcia, she'll do her ultimate twice. No second proc from Nawi again, which is a real shame. Fortitude being applied to Seraphina, which is not actually what we want. We want the opposite. We do want Marcia to get the Fortitude buff. But in this case, I think we will, as long as Nawi does what she's supposed to do. Yeah, let's get this one. So it is a victory. Just took us 11 rounds to do. It's fine. And then this is the boss fight here. So we'll check what his mercenaries do. Attack all enemies, dealing 30% damage. Loses 1% HP when performing a basic attack. So this is all down to the enemies performing basics, which is nothing you can do about. So we will try... Yeah, it's basically the same setup as we've got. We'll try this one. We'll try it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Is what it is. Hopefully we'll be able to get underneath this shield and it doesn't have a damage reduction. I think these will give this boss damage reduction. Yeah, damage immunity. Which is not what we want to see. But it is what it is. So it's going to be a long, long fight. This 75. And it's just about survivability. So as long as our frontline units attack, as long as our frontline units survive, we should be in a good spot because our backline units can't die. Now the damage immunity kicking in there, you know, if I think it's 15% per 15% damage reduction for the enemy boss per unit that's still alive here. So potentially what we can do is we can change out Talinas for Dorabella, who can deal percentage damage rather than just straight up normal damage. She is a boss killer, and I may need to switch out depending on. We are getting a lot of misses here, which is, you know, it's really useful. And if worse comes to worse, we can try the clear records as well. Clear records, I always choose suitability. I'll show you that in a second. I always choose this suitability over power because, you know, I look at some of these guys, attacks, and it's just crazy. Flipping heck, through that damage reduction as well. I think that's a 90% damage reduction that this boss has, and yet we're still able to do this much damage to him. It's just absolutely mental. Fortunately, frontline units are getting a lot of misses in. And I have to say, I think dodge is the strongest mechanic in this game. And the reason for that, and I'm going to keep repeating that over and over and over again, is because if you can't be hit, you can't be killed. And that's just about the sum total of things there. If you can't be hit, you can't be killed. Like frontline enemies can't be hit, then the backline enemies can't be killed. Oh, sorry, backline allies can't be killed. So we'll skip this one. So I think it is a victory. Would have taken us 17 rounds, but it seems as though we got through. Now we're doing all of the heavy lifting, 81%. And we got those 30 red coins as well. I'm going to move. Now we're going to change her up with Talinas here, and the reason for that is because a loon will just take somebody out. With this setup, she will just absolutely destroy one unit, and that's what I don't want. So we're still on ethereals here, and then hopefully we'll get to the end of these quite quickly. It was under 7 rounds. It's not bad. I'm going to move Nawi again, so she's opposite Karnak, who is the healer. If we take out him early, we should be in for a victory. No, not on this occasion. So we're going to try that again. If we can take him out. Or even when we did take him out. We might need to change things up a little bit. Yeah, we're going to need to change things up a little bit. Let's have a check on the clear records first. So it looks like people have been using the exact same team as us, and with less values as well. But it may be the relics that are being used. So let me check that. Nurse increase max HP. Going to remove all these. I'm going to add in splash damage. The reason we're going to add in splash damage is because if we don't, it may be we might not be able to do enough to everybody on the team. I just want to check something on this one as well. So when I attack Karnak and I undercut his shields, is it so ignore shield's been applied, so we go straight to health. Is it dealing damage to everybody else? I don't think it will. And what I mean by that is the ethereals synergy.
they spread damage out and give 10% damage reduction. No, it's not.
Silence is key.
Oh, unfortunate. And no stun either. Yeah, getting taken out. Getting Gwyn taken out right there is real pain. But fortunately, that shield coming in clutch. Yeah, no, that's why. We're not doing as much damage as we should do. So the 10% damage reduction, I think, is still active for them. But just the spread damage is not. Which is a shame. Wow. Wow. That was crazy. That was mental. They just melted like butter. Let's try this again. I think I'd need to switch Nawi out. Yeah. Let me just change Nawi's position and go with a loom. And try and take out a loom as quickly as possible. Yeah, it seems as though that has worked and got us through. So just a couple more now. We shall take out Karnak because he's the one providing healing.
No prey can escape me.
And then 79. Gwyn is the final boss. What is he doing? Applies curse. Permanent effect. Stacks of 25. So hopefully, if we take out the Karnak early, we'll be able to secure a victory in this one. But we shall see. We'll remove this holy shield. It's the only thing that the ignore shield doesn't actually ignore. Is that just our weapon?
Radiance will protect us. Target acquired. Silence is key.
Get that shield buff here, increasing the max HP of the front two units. Yeah, taking out Gwyn again. He's very vulnerable in that spot. I think I might switch him round with Talinas. No, unfortunately we didn't get the proc that time for the relic to activate, so this will, I suspect, be a loss. Unless we can heal. Yeah, it's a loss. So let's try this again. And hopefully we'll get a good proc this time round. Have we got... Yeah, we've got everything that we need on there. Let's switch Talinas around with Gwyn. And we'll see if that does us any good. The reason that I put Talinas up front, firstly the Monarch synergy, so more than 80% of our health can't be taken off in a single attack, and also she does have damage reduction as well, because of the exclusive runes that I've got. So fortunately Blessing's being applied here, but Marcia taken out right away is a bit of an annoyance.
Radiance will protect us. Target acquired. Silence is key.
No proc from Nawi, unfortunately. So let's skip this one. We know that one's going to be a loss. We'll keep going. I will beat this stage.
I can't wait to join.
Speak it and it will come into existence. I knew it. Well done, Nawi. Alright, those beautiful 3 scrolls. They should be giving out more than that. For beating that stage, Nightmare 80, they should be giving out more than that. Anyway, it's neither here nor there. If you watched all the way through, thank you very much. Really does mean a lot. I'm just trying to help as many people as I can on the stages that I personally struggled with when I was first starting out. If you've got any comments, please leave them. I'm going to stress this on every video. Just if you've got any questions, queries, please leave them. Or go to the Discord. You can find your answers there. I can guarantee that. If you could like and subscribe, it would be tremendous help. Thanks very much, and you have a good day.